So veterinary medicine is considered to be a very complicated admissions process, or what I'd like to say is that the admissions process has for years been believed to be kind of a black box, and it's been a personal goal of mine and a goal of our college to change that black box into something that's very transparent. And so if you take admissions as a whole and look at the basic fundamental reasons that we have an admissions committee and admissions process, we really are trying to admit 138 people that will become good veterinarians and go on to grow the profession into the future. So how do you do that? Well, we really boil it all down to two things. Two things would be, number one, we ask a question. Does this candidate provide evidence that he or she can handle a rigorous upper division biomedical sciences curriculum? We do not look at the CUME GPA. We just ask the question by looking at the candidate's academic history. Do they have evidence? And it has to be current evidence. So maybe you did well in the past, but your current evidence does not reflect your ability to handle it. We may have to update that a bit. It can mean good GRE scores, but perhaps not such good GRE scores if the evidence is that you can still handle a good curriculum and get good grades. It may be that you're working full-time and taking fewer classes. It may be that you get a full load, but you're involved in school clubs and that kind of thing. Both are positive, and we'll look at that. So we look collectively, in fact, our process is holistic at that academic question. So that just assumes that if you have the ability to handle an upper division biomedical sciences curriculum, that you will be able to get through the veterinary program. It does not intuitively mean that you're going to be a good veterinarian. So we asked a second question, and that is this candidate going to be a good veterinarian? Now, that's a little bit of a more difficult question to answer. But, I've sat in many rooms and asked a group of pre-vet students, a group of veterinarians, if you were going to select your veterinarian, what's the difference between a good and a bad veterinarian? A good veterinarian being one that we think is contributing to the profession, to the health of animals, is kind, etc., versus somebody who can graduate from the program, but maybe we wouldn't want to point to that they graduated from our veterinary program. So in talking to groups of people, they come up with the same list of qualities that we come up with. Again, it's not a black box. It's not something special. What you want in your veterinarian is we want in the veterinarians that we are going to make here at CSU. Things like knowledge of the profession. Yes, we will look for how much you know about veterinary medicine. How much you know about animals. We expect that an admitted candidate has been around some animals, has some common sense understanding of animals and the humans that own them and deal with them. We want people who are good communicators, somebody who can speak to us as clients and owners of our beloved pets or animals that make us our living, and who can communicate the problems with them. So somebody who can write. We may not be able to see how they communicate in other ways, but we certainly can have them write an essay and read that. We think that good veterinarians are good community servants. Veterinarians are busy people, but veterinarians find the time to help us with our affairs, with mentoring other young people who want to be veterinarians. They help people in the community. And we think that people who are good community servants are going to be better veterinarians than those who are not. So we'll look at the history of the candidate to see if he or she's had opportunities. They don't have to all be major commitments, like Habitat for Humanity is wonderful, or work at the Humane Society. It might be that you just take a little bit of a time out of your busy schedule and go do a jog-a-thon for a charity. Those things add up over time for busy people to be giving back. We think that good veterinarians are good leaders, and good leaders contribute in ways that are going to not only propel their own practice forward, but perhaps they'll give back leadership to a small community that may not otherwise have it. A lot of small communities are dependent upon a veterinary professional to provide their leadership. And so those are the two questions that we will ask of every candidate who is admitted to our program, every candidate who applies to our candidate. Is there evidence that he or she can handle a rigorous upper division biomedical sciences curriculum currently? And is there evidence that he or she will become a good veterinarian? Now, those two questions are asked under the umbrella of other things, certainly. You may have somebody that has some really unique characteristics to bring, maybe somebody who's overcome obstacles to get there. So I always talk about asking those two questions under an umbrella of other unique qualities that a candidate may have. But in the end, if we can't answer yes to those two fundamental questions, it is likely that a candidate will not be admitted. On the other hand, if we can answer them in varying ways, equal, good, other ways, we have to answer yes for them to be admitted. We encourage you to go to our website and read the philosophy of the admissions committee. This concept of the two-question holistic process is gone into a lot more detail in that document.